apologize for not being here 2 weeks ago. I had a little sciatic nerve problem, which I'm still limping around with. You know, when people would ask me, say, what position did you play? Why'd you play defense? And I said, well, because it's better to give than receive. Well, I'm going to tell you, folks, I think I got better because I'm not sure I dealt out the punishment I'm feeling these days. Anyway, the Saints. I don't think you can talk about the Saints until you think about Bum Phillips, who departed us about a week and a half ago. I had the privilege of playing for Bum for 5 years. Heck of a coach, and even a bigger man than anything. He taught me a lot. He taught me a lot, and he was an inspiration. He basically, if it hadn't have been for him, I probably wouldn't have lasted, but maybe 10 years. He extended my career about 5 years because of the things he did. He made football fun again, which in those the years that I played, 73 through 85, we had a lot of lean years. We had a lot of bad things that happened to us. 1 in 15 was the worst. I mean, that was the darkest side of football you can have. But the game yesterday, that was, we started out flat. We probably faced the best defensive line that we're going to face all year long. Good for us that they didn't have the complement of people around them to take advantage of their dominance in the very beginning of the game of our offensive line. But we got things together. Drew Brees, you can't beat him. I mean, he and Coach Payton, they feed off each other. They're the greatest tandem in pro football. And I remember last year when I had the privilege of addressing this group that some people were saying that things wouldn't change after Coach Payton was suspended for a year. Well, guess what? Head coaches do matter, big time. You see the difference in the way the squad has responded. Rob Ryan, who he hired from Dallas, Rob Ryan has brought in a 3-4 defense, and he has got his players sold on it. They're playing extremely well. They're letting the other teams notice that who's boss on the field. They came to play football, and they scared Buffalo's quarterback to death right off the bat. I mean, first play from scrimmage, and as a result, they were able to send the Wolves after him, and that I'm talking about. They were the coordinated blitzes that they were running, and he didn't want to get hit that much more because he'd already been hurt. So that played to our advantage in that respect because he wasn't that accurate after that hit. The mistakes that we made with the weak layoff that we had, I believe that Coach Payton is right on. And in that, I mean, you can't make stupid mistakes on the field. 10 people in the huddle, missed tackles, not being having 11 people out on the field for special teams. It has to be run like a smooth, well-oiled machine. You have to make sure that every base is covered because those things will get you beat when you're playing a team just as good as you are. There's not that much difference. It's the people who make the least mistakes are the ones who go home with the trophy. And I look at the one who's most vocal about it that I see on the field as far as the coaches, Nick Saban. They can be 40, 50 points ahead, and one of his players makes a stupid mistake, he's on right off the bat. Being ahead is no reason to get sloppy, and being good is no reason to get sloppy either. The New Orleans Saints are probably the top 3 teams in the NFL right now. The reason we are is because discipline. You have to be disciplined on the field. You can't be running around blocks. You can't miss assignments, and you sure can't forget to be on the field. That is that's not going to go. It's not even it's not even solvable. And the fact that there's no excuse for it. The play, I think, the things I saw yesterday, as far as the play of Jimmy Graham, who's hurt, but he came in when and played when the Saints they had 60 or less to go. He is, in my opinion, he's the most important tight end to an offense in the NFL. He's a fiery competitor, just a great football player. And I think we got the emergence of another young man. He happens to hail from Oklahoma. His name is Kenny Stills. Kenny came through for us, played extremely well. He's got a burning desire to do well for himself and to be a better player than what he is. He's going to be something. He's going to be a guy that we're going to be hearing from for a long time. But knowing Coach Payton, knowing Rob Ryan and the dedication he has to selling his defense to his players who they bought into it, I think you're going to see a totally different team from the start to the end coming this week. It's going to be a good experience. It's going to be good to see them not start out lethargic, and believe me, they won't. Well, I guess that's about the whole thing in a nutshell in the game. Any questions?
Raise your hand, please. Over here.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the 1 in 15 season. Which one of the best memories you have about football?
Excuse me?
Which one?
You mentioned 1 in 15 season, but which one of the best memories you have about football, whether it be college or pro?
The best memories about football?
For you, yes, sir.
I don't know. There's been a bunch of them. I would say it's hard to say because there's the bad stuff you kind of push in the back of your head. The good stuff, running into the Superdome, hear the fans scream. I would say running out on the field. Believe it or not, being a kid again at training camp, and we did. I mean, we played, but we worked awfully hard, but we played hard also, which that was one of Bum's prerequisites. Play hard, work hard, but not necessarily in that order. That was his exact words.
You played your college football at Oklahoma, is that right?
Oklahoma, yes, sir. I was there 69 through 72.
That big win this past weekend.
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Of course. No, Oklahoma, they played, in my opinion, the best game they played in 10 years. They were physical, they were hungry, they came out after it. They haven't been playing like the Oklahoma teams of old. They're timid. They haven't taken control of the field. They haven't shown that they're ready to compete for a national championship. I'm not sure they are yet. I don't think that we have quarterback problems up there. Nobody's really emerged as a true starter yet. So we'll see what Coach Stoops comes up with.
Derland, was Barry Switzer your coach at Oklahoma, and is it true that you were a walk-on at Oklahoma?
Barry Switzer was the assistant head coach. Chuck Fairbanks was the head coach. And yes, it's true, I was a walk-on. You may find this hard to believe, but I grew up in southeast Missouri. As a farm kid, we farmed 2,000 acres. My dad was a state trooper and a farmer also. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to do, a lot of other things except work. When I went out to Oklahoma, and this is how worldly I was, I went out there for a track meet, an AAU meet. And I asked where we were going to stay. I had no idea. And they said, I think we're going to stay at the University of Oklahoma. I said, oh, they got a university out here, huh? I'd never heard of the Oklahoma Sooners. And the only reason I asked the track coach offered me a scholarship while I was out there. And the only reason I asked if I could try out for the football team is I saw the big stadium, and I had no idea to the addition. If I would, thank goodness I didn't, because I probably would have been too intimidated to even think about walking on.
Hi, Derland. Did you participate in the entertaining of the opposing plays in the early years of the Saints?
Excuse me?
On the Saturday nights before the Sunday games, it's quite known how much entertainment was done on Bourbon Street of the opposition. Did you participate?
No. And that's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
Is that because Mrs. Moore is in the audience?
Well, that is not Mrs. Moore. She's a good friend of mine. Her name is Sydney.
Close enough. Anyone else? Raise your hand. No.
Okay, well, listen, I sure appreciate it. Thank y'all.